My name is Jason Watson. This is a project for community policing at Thomas University. The title of the project is Displacement and Crime Rates and how they interact. First question is, what is displacement? Common Dictionary defines it as to compel a person or persons to leave a specified area. Displacement crime. How can it be defined in law enforcement terms? Displacement is a strategy used by governments in attempts to rid high crime areas of the criminal element. It's pretty self-explanatory. Law enforcement, governments, community, they come together. It's an aspect of community policing. They come together to try to revitalize areas, try to push a criminal element out of that particular jurisdiction. Does it work? Yes or no? At the end of the presentation, with the information presented, maybe you'll have a better idea for yourself if it does or it doesn't. Next question is, what are the causes of displacement? We've already touched on it a little bit. Causes of displacement can either be political or sometimes natural disasters. Now, when we talk about political, we bring to mind the fact of maybe a government, city councilman, county commissioner, governor, something along those lines that has a problem in their particular jurisdiction, ward, district, what have you, that is either a high crime area or an eyesore. Now, the causes of displacement go hand in hand with the broken window theory. Broken window theory, as we've learned, is where you have an area that is run down, broken windows, not taken care of, no attention given to that area. The criminal element recognizes this and sees that, okay, government, law enforcement, nobody's paying particular attention to this area. We can move in and do our thing. Well, displacement is a result of a broken window theory when attention has been given to that area. So what happens is the government comes in to revitalize the area. The criminal element is pushed out. Now, that doesn't mean they go to jail. They're relocated. They relocate on their own. And during the presentation, it's going to be discussed the different types of causes, such as political and the natural disasters, which is what we're going to talk about first, is a natural disaster. Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina occurred August 28, 2005. It was a very, very powerful storm, probably one of the worst natural disasters in the United States. Hundreds of thousands of people were displaced by Hurricane Katrina. It wiped cities off the face of the map. It was you had police departments down there. You had the residents that were in nothing but survival mode. Thousands displaced after Katrina. Most were displaced, were relocated to other parts of the southeast. Two cities that the presentation is going to focus on are Houston, Texas, and Atlanta. It seemed to be two of the major hubs for the location of the refugees that were displaced by Hurricane Katrina. How did this affect the crime rate in New Orleans? The crime rate in New Orleans fell to levels they haven't seen in years. While the crime rates in the cities that the refugees were shipped off to started increasing at alarming rates. Breakdown of crime rates for the city of New Orleans pre and post Katrina. 2004, 4,467 violent crimes were reported in New Orleans. 2006, 2,255 violent crimes reported. Now, these are crimes reported. But as you can see, that is a decrease of 50% in violent crimes in the city of New Orleans because of Hurricane Katrina. There are no statistics for 2005 because of the issues they had. The city lost everything, not just the people, but also the governments down there. There was no record of it. It disappeared. I mean, just like everything else. What effect did the displacement have on violent crimes in the city of Atlanta? After the displacement from New Orleans to Atlanta, the refugees, the murder rate in Atlanta increased by 28%. Now you're looking 28% in the city of Atlanta. Now, of course, the city of Atlanta has a very high murder rate to begin with, but 28%, and not everything will be attributed to the displacement of the refugees, That's a pretty significant number, 28%. Effects on violent crimes in Houston, Texas. After Katrina, the murder rates in Texas increased from 334 in 2005 to 377 in 2006. Now you say, okay, 40 bodies, 42 bodies here. That's a lot of people. For a year's time, for it to increase 40 bodies, that's substantial, very substantial. Kind of shifting gears here from the natural disasters to now to political reasons. 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta learns in 1991, okay, you've been awarded the Olympic Games for 1996. City of Atlanta starts almost automatically, what do we have to do to make our city look better in the eyes of the world? So what do? They go in, they start cleaning up the low-income areas, the areas that are eyesores to the city, the broken window areas, raising buildings, cleaning it up. Basically, Atlanta was trying to revitalize their city. They knew they were going to be in the eyes of the world. The publicity was going to be through the roof. Now, results for the city doing what they do, doing what they did. Buildings were torn down, residents relocated, displaced. Attention to homeless problems in the city. Now, the city of Atlanta has a very hefty homeless issue. You have people living under overpasses, in bushes. The first thing the city wanted to do was get these guys and women and children off the streets. One, to help them, but two, also to keep them out of the eye of the public. They didn't want these visitors from other countries coming in and seeing the issues that the city deals with daily for the homeless. Crime rates in the surrounding counties in Atlanta increased, and I'm talking about the surrounding metropolis of here in Atlanta, the metro Atlanta counties. Case in point, Clayton County, Georgia. It's a southern suburb of Atlanta. It butts up to the bottom side of the city. Matter of fact, the International Airport in Atlanta lies in the city of Atlanta and also in Clayton County. Since the Olympics, violent crimes have continued to rise substantially. A study of violent crime from 1999 to 2008 shows violent crime in Clayton County has increased 83%. That is almost double. 1999 to 2008, almost double the violent crimes they had prior to around the Olympic Games. Analysis. Displacement works to deal with a problem in a particular area or a jurisdiction. It reduces. It's a strategy to reduce crime rate for that particular area. On the flip side of that, that's the positive. The cons to this are it creates issues for other areas, causes increased crime rates for those other areas. Going back to the first slide, does it work? Yes or no? It's kind of the answer to both of them are correct. Yes and no. For the area that is responding to the broken window issues with displacement, this is a very, very, I guess, a great strategy that will take care of the problem for that area. But the criminal element is going to move. They are going to keep committing crimes, doing what they do. They're going to relocate to another area. So basically, what you're doing is you're solving one problem but creating another. So it's basically displacement is a revolving door. Yes, it works, but if you look at it from another angle, no, it does not. Thank you very much.